shot a video on how to replace the door latch on my 2013 Ford Flex, but I didn't decide to shoot it until really I was halfway disassembled. So it's more of a how to reassemble, but I've kind of done it in reverse, so you can see how I've how I took it each piece apart, how the door latch and that door handle right there come out. Anyhow, hopefully this helps, and if you have any questions, reach out. All right, to get to these 10 millimeters, you can get over here on the left side of the door handle and get behind that, and that little plate will pop out. This one actually has two tabs on the top that if you'll very carefully stick a small screwdriver in, you can push those tabs down and it'll pop this way, and then it's got two little catches that it sits on. So don't come in from the bottom of the sides. Just about a ½ inch off each end is where those tabs are, and if you'll just reach in with a screwdriver, you can pop them out. And they just snap right back in. All right, all the front door latch videos show you how to remove the door panel. What's missing from that on the rear is there's a reflector that's right here. And you can see that there's a screw. So you'll pull and pull if you're like me, trying to figure out how that pops out. I finally got inquisitive enough to remove the little red reflector and found the screw before I broke my door panel. So thankfully I didn't do my normal stuff. But I'm just about back together. Just got to put that 10 millimeter back in, this 10 millimeter back in, put the caps back on, and then the few Phillips screws that go around it. And hopefully my door latch, door ajar problem is solved. This guy just literally slides on, and then you can see at the bottom it grabs around that cable, so it just simply slides on and snaps. And then we'll feed it back up through the hole in the door panel and we're done. All right, to get the door cable off of the inside handle, there's this blue keeper, and there's a track. Sorry guys, there's a track that this ledge goes down into. Actually, you pull the cable over down into that track, and then this pushes in and latches like that. And so to reverse that, to get it out, you push the little tabs in with a screwdriver. It'll go out to my left here, and then that cable can come right up through that valley back out. And then it's got a little lead knob that slides up, and that's all that is to remove that guy. To get the window piece out, you literally will have to pop out the actual window switch, and then you can just disconnect it like all the others. So it's real easy. All right, we've got this in, but it needs to go forward, and going forward, you see how I've got it pretty much flush to the door anyway. By shoving it forward, it latches, and it actually, this catches the metal latch inside, and it's now opening our door. So all I gotta do now is put the screws in, put that screw back in, and then go to work on the door panel. Well, sorry, I do have to connect the electrical and feed that through. I think that's it. Kind of reverse order, but I got that back in, that whole big plastic piece. You see my screw back in that slot. On the end of that door latch is two teeth or feet or whatever you want to call them that slip on the outside of the metal right here, and you can see them, they're grabbing. So now I'm ready to tighten this guy up, and then once I've got him in, I can go in with that screw right back through that hole, and that should secure all of my door handle, and I can put all the handle pieces back in. Actually, that screw goes, I think, to hold the pull part in. Fun times. All right, you remember the jigsaw puzzle. We're going back in the same way with the bottom of the motor or the latch going in at the top right hand of the corner. I'm going to put this down, and unfortunately I can't show you and hold this camera. I can't hold this camera and get it in. All right, I had this come out and I was having to figure out where it went. So this is the door lock. It'll go to that long black tube that connects anyhow through the door. It goes through that big hole right there. These two little slots are the door lock. I've got it fished through. It's an S hook. And so anyhow, it goes right here, and then it goes behind the latch, because obviously the latch is, if the left side of this was the door, outside the door, and the inside, and the right side's the inside of the door, it's gonna look just like that when we get it back in here, and then that's gonna go right back through that hole, and we'll push that grommet back through, and then we'll put it back together when I'll put the black tube back on it when we get the door panel back on. All right, I'm going back in. There's these 3 holes to line up for these 3 holes, and then this guy is in this hole right here. You'll need a Torx screwdriver for that, and then I have Torx bits for these guys, but anyhow, same thing to put all that back together. And then this little screw, I didn't really do a good job filming this coming apart, but you can see the front of the door handle has a notch. So all I'm gonna do is fish that back in. I'll slide that screw back into that notch and tighten it down. Put this back in, and hopefully I get it back together the way it came apart. All right, there's what it looks like back in place, and that little tab right there is just enough to catch that upper lip and to not let it come back out. Now we've got that other piece that I rotated back out. Hopefully it's just a quick snap back in. Yep, and it's back in, and just like that, my whole latch is ready to go right back in the door. Hoping that I didn't forget to put something back on. All right, there's my little notch that I'm shooting for. Here's my little tab that goes down in there, and I'm just going to simply push that down in there. All right, same thing, I'm going right back in with that into the new piece. Sorry about that, there it is. Now I'm ready just to latch that in, feed this guy back into that track right there, hopefully. Oh, this is going to make you drop this video, so shaky. All right, I'm going to put the camera down, but you get the gist. All right, I got it in there. It was really firm, so it definitely took both hands to push it in, but it's good and secure. Now I'm ready to put that whole plastic latch system back on here. All right, now that I got it out, I realized what's in there, and it's actually the cable end. You can see that it's got the S configuration, and it goes straight in that slot right there. And then this whole piece here is just a retainer to keep it in place. But that's what you should look for when you get it removed. All right, the cable that goes to your actual door, interior door handle, has just a little bitty catch. If we can get focused on it, let's try to get a little better light. There it is, you can see that. Hopefully you can see that catch. So we just got to push it through, and then that's got some slots. It should lift straight up this way and release, and it'll just clip right back down into the new latch. All right, this section, you can see the little tab right there at my thumb. It goes in that hole right there, and then this other tab right here is a keeper to keep it from slipping out of that hole. So you got to kind of move this guy out of the way so that you can slide this to your right and bring it out of that hole. And now I've done that, I'm actually free, and my whole latch system is ready to be replaced. Okay, this was a little tricky. This is where the door handle is attaching, actually twisting it. I'm twisting it toward me, as you can see, and then I'm getting that, sorry for the shakiness of the camera, but that'll allow that tooth to slide by, and then it'll just pop right out. So twist with your finger, push down on your thumb, pull it back toward you, and then kind of rotate it that way, and hopefully it'll pop out. All right, it comes out in an odd way in that the top, I guess the bottom of the motor goes in that upper right hand of the triangle. You do have to go ahead and bring the door handle out, and it'll just kind of snake through after you've disconnected the electrical. That is a very interesting way to get it out of there. I guess hopefully I'll get it back in. Well, hopefully that helped, and please feel free to reach out with any questions.